What's up guys, the Strong Boys 19 here. It is time for another 2014 review of Bloodstone and Diamonds by Machine Head. Now for those who don't know these guys, Machine Head are a metal band from Oakland, and this is their 8th album, and the follow-up to that is Onto the Locust, which came out in 2011. The Blackening and Onto the Locust are one of my favourite metal albums of all time. Before I jump right into this review, I would like to apologise for the sound of my voice, because if I try to speak at a higher type of pitch and range, it sounds like that I've been losing my voice. Well, I do sound like I've been losing my voice if I try to speak at a higher pitch. So I'm still quite ill from this really annoying cold. But anyways, I absolutely love Machine Head. They're just one of my top favourite metal bands of all time. And this is their first album to feature their new bassist. And it is their first to have Nuclear Blast Records as the record label. Now we all know the two new songs that came out before the album's official release, and Bloodstone and Diamonds had to be one of my most anticipated albums of the year, and I just really love Machine Head from their entire discography. To me, they've never released a poor album in my own eyes, and I really do dig the new metal era from Machine Head, the Burning Red and Supercharger, but I do love Machine Head for the really unique and creative, distinctive sound from their songwriting, and just the deliverance from their songs from beginning to end is just purely phenomenal. So I have to say, this is another really, really great, fantastic album from Machine Head once again. This is their longest album to date, and it runs up to an hour and 11 minutes. So, an hour and 11 minutes of pure aggression that we have been waiting for quite some time. So, Bloodstone and Diamonds, when I listened to it, it's a bit like half of The Blackening and half of Onto the Locust, put them all together, and I just absolutely love their really distinctive, punishing, and really violent, heavy sound. And most of these songs on this album are just really deep, from the songwriting that is creative to the lyricism that has been really dark and deep and really interesting, and also the new additions that have been included on the music for the album and the production. Just almost every single thing on this entire album is just outstanding from beginning to end. So most of these songs do begin with a quite sinister, deep introduction, and I do love it that Machine Head can take their softer parts, make them really slow, gentle, but make them at a soft, heavy tone, and then they can just build it right up, and it'll just explode from there with the power and the excitement of their aggressive sound. And I do love Machine Head for doing that. They are just a really unique metal band for creating something that is really flawless. The production of this album is fantastic as well. The guitar distortion is simply spot on. The drum sound is top notch as well, and I really do love the deep triggered sound from the bass drums and the really punchy snares and the crystal clearing sounding cymbals. It's just fantastic. The tone for the bass guitar does have does contain a violent type of sound, like the distortion as well, and there's also the sounds of the orchestra, some orchestration that's been involved on a couple of these tracks, and acoustic guitars, and the music non-stop is really heavy, and it just blows my mind every time that I listen to Machine Head's own discography, because I do love the groove that they take and the thrashy elements that they put into the sound of their musical style, and it just works completely well, putting a lot of groove into there and thrash elements into there, and just make them all into one big giant spot. The vocals from Rob Flynn on this album, really, really good, and he's just one of these vocalists that does have the feeling of bringing some emotion to these lyrics, and where he growls and shouts, he can just bring his full anger, just make it more punishing than ever. And the backing vocals are just awesome stuff as well, and there's just a lot of memorable, catchy elements from a lot of these songs on this album, like the opening track, Now We Die, and Killers and Kings. Other songs like In Comes the Flood, Sail into the Black, Night of Long Knives, Take Me Through the Fire, and an interesting song on here called Imaginal Cells. There are no vocals in it at all, but it does have a lot of these samples about different people that's been talking about these really important topics, involving the politics and different stuff like that, and Machine Head's heavy music takes it from there, and I just find it really unique. So overall, there's not a big letdown from any single thing on this album. I mean, if you just love Machine Head, just go out and buy this album, and it's just one of these albums that you will never be disappointed about. So this is definitely one of my most favourite albums of 2014. From here on out, I can just listen to this album at any time, and I'll be just really pleased to listen to these guys, since they're just one of these metal bands that I absolutely adore. Way too much. Well, way too much. Yeah, but I don't care. So let me know what you guys think of Bloodstone and Diamonds in the comments, and tell me which is your favourite Machine Head album ever. Like I said, The Blackening and Onto the Locust are one of my favourite albums of all time, and that's really all I've got to say about Bloodstone and Diamonds by Machine Head. Completely stunning. It's just a near perfect album for me, and it is close of being a contender for the album of the year. And I will place this album way high into the favourite albums of 2014 list. It's in the top 5 for sure. So I'm going to give this album a strong 9.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted in the near future.